And the High Priestess is the most intuitive psychic card in the tarot. She's also about keeping others' secrets and receiving secrets from the universe with the Hierophant. Being able to hold different energies and see different perspectives. Because the High Priestess is a Pisces card. If I speak about zodiac signs, I'm talking about energies, not people, okay? So the High Priestess is a Pisces card. And Pisces is ruled by Neptune in modern astrology. It is ruled by Jupiter in traditional astrology. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So it currently rules in modern day astrology Sagittarius. It's interesting because when I did a pre-shuffle, I pulled the Knight of Wands. And if you watch Standard Tarot, you will find out that the Knight of Wands is kind of the card of the player, okay? That's the shallow shadow side of the Knight of Wands. But the higher wisdom of the Knight of Wands, first of all, it's the only card that is double fire in the court cards. It is the only card that is fire and fire energies, and it rules Sagittarius, which brings us back to Jupiter, which brings us back to Pisces. So the Knight of Wands is a higher spiritual quest. It's not only a quest, it's like the person who can fight fire with fire, and it's about long distance travel. It's about higher learning. And higher learning can mean on the 3D level, expanding your skill set and education in this 3D world, going to school, taking courses, learning new skills, practicing new hobbies, arts, trying different communication styles. But with double fire, it's really that spiritual essence. It is coming close to the mastery of the quest, because the King of Wands, after the Queen of Wands, is the master of the quest, and the Emperor, which is ruled by Aries, Fire, Mars, is the ultimate master of their domain, the ultimate leader, the highest status. And the only thing higher than that is the High Priestess. The High Priestess guides everyone. It can represent a very powerful medium, a seer, a psychic, and if you're wondering about these psychic abilities, I believe, and with spirit speaking through me as a medium myself, as a seer myself, working with spirit, being a Pisces sun sign and 10th house midheaven, excuse me, I'm actually a 9th house Pisces, so like I have that Sagittarian higher knowledge quest within myself, so spirit wants me to share that for some reason. I am a spiritual guide, and it can represent energies like that, and going after that kind of information, I believe, and again with spirit working through me, like I was saying a moment ago, that anybody can evolve their psychic abilities. There are some people that are not meant to access that in this life, and I do believe in reincarnation. I study and practice evolutionary astrology along with natal astrology. And anybody can learn these esoteric skills, we'll call them. It typically requires a spiritual awakening in your life, and we can go through many, and it can be brief or it can be stretch out for years. And I sometimes share my personal journey with people on my channel in my vlogs. So it can help you pursue a higher quest and battle through tower moments in your life that cause sometimes deep sadness and regret. Maybe you've, with the Five of Cups I'm looking at, maybe you have, maybe you've really been disappointed by faith in your life. Maybe you have felt like there wasn't anything else, or that you don't know if you believe in an afterlife at all. And that's really quite normal. Even people who claim a religion or a spiritual path, sometimes they have those what's the word I'm thinking of? Dystopian ways of looking at the world. This Five of Cups is very dystopian. And you know, it's not for everybody, but people who are at the beginning of a spiritual awakening typically start with getting really fed up with the way things have been in their life. And I will do spiritual chats on this topic more in depth, but you know, it usually starts with just starting to get really uncomfortable with the way your life is going, feeling like it doesn't fit anymore. And then what's typical, and again, this doesn't always happen it typically doesn't happen in a linear cycle fashion. It does go through cycles, and you could be at different parts of the journey, and then you can even be back in other parts of the journey again. It's hard, and it makes you a warrior. I mean, the Knight of Wands is a warrior. They'll get the job done through brute force. And sometimes you need that kind of inspiration to break through karmic cycles. Yeah, it's possible that prior spiritual experiences or religious experiences, you know, maybe stuff you've experienced as a child or growing up, have made you opposed to believing in higher powers. Maybe it made you feel like you didn't have your power, but you do have your power. You have the Queen of Wands here, and she represents that. She's also the one queen that will go and battle for you, for others. And if you can battle for others, you can battle for yourself. You just have to make yourself a priority. The Ten of Pentacles here in reverse, that's not having it all. That's feeling like you are in complete lack or in devastation of your absolute security. Feeling like you aren't fortunate, like good things don't happen to you. That could be part of the karmic cycle. That could be part of the transformation. And I'm not here to tell anybody to have spirituality. I'm simply a messenger. Remember that I'd say when I step into these readings, I step in with source energy, with spirit. And I do take accountability for everything I say. I use discernment. And I have been through many things in my life to put me in this position where I can share this kind of information safely. So if it doesn't resonate, don't force it. Please do leave what does not make sense to you. If it does make sense to you, but you're getting uncomfortable, that's probably a good sign. Because when you can get used to being uncomfortable, you can handle anything. You can be that Knight of Wands on the quest, overcoming karmic cycles. And you need that kind of courage and determination to get over a Ten of Wands energy, a Tower energy. Towers can be good or bad, okay? Or they can be none of the above. It's all, if you look at it from a higher perspective, you look at it from everything is always working out for you in your favor. And that's not just a manifestation intention, which I teach about manifestation and the laws of the universe, law of attraction, law of equivalent exchange, many other things that are hermetic principles and universal laws, not just get rich quick gimmicks on the internet. You can get familiar with these energies, you can work with them. They can help you overcome huge adversity in your life. Ten of Wands is a burden, but it's upside down. So whoever you are, you've either put a burden down or you need to. Maybe it's your ego. Maybe your ego is the burden. And let me see, what is a good way? Without going into a tangent, the ego is our human self. It's the part of ourselves that is attached to this 3D world, and the 5D is the spiritual. Okay? So when you go through a spiritual awakening, and then I mentioned you know, with the Five of Cups energy, that dystopian feeling can be disharmony within yourself emotionally, feeling like you are left out in the cold, abandoned, or regretful, remorseful about something, about your life, about maybe what kind of support you give yourself. I mean, again, I can't say what all of you have been through in your lives to get to a point of a spiritual awakening, and or not a spiritual awakening, just life's adversity at times. But those of you that are going through a spiritual awakening, there's the dark night of the soul. And there's a lot of people who talk about how you can have a spiritual awakening or have a Kundalini awakening, which is a whole other bag that I'm not going to get into because I'm not an expert on that. There are others out there that are. Anyways, this isn't about gimmicks. This isn't about clickbait. This isn't about winning y'all over and giving epic content. This is about being authentic. This is about soul's growth. This is about spiritual journeys. And I'm a guide. So if you're still here, again, thank you. When you go through the dark night, it can feel like